What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Figured I'd get out and do another vlog. It seemed like a few people liked the first one I did, just kind of talking about the ECU kind of quick shifter topic last video. So I figured got another nice sunny day here today and get out and do another video for you guys. I'm trying to put up as much content as I can. Like I said, hopefully this should be a good year to try and get the channel growing. And so if you find any of this interesting or anything, or just like to kind of see cruising around or bike meets, you know, definitely feel free to subscribe or check out the Instagram channel. I do more stuff up there where it's like you know, got music and things with it. Obviously I can't do that with YouTube if I ever hope to be monetized. But yeah, so wanted to talk about well, I'm gonna go around this guy here. This guy's cutting grass, so I always gotta be careful of that on the road. Yeah, so wanted to talk about the cruise control system on here, since I was watching another video and it seemed like some people didn't really know how they worked, or also on some of the Facebook groups for the owners of these bikes, it seems like there's sometimes a lot of questions about, like, hey, you know, my cruise control is not working, you know, and maybe they just haven't read the owner's manual or things like that. And I know, you know, myself included, sometimes I prefer to just watch a video for something and gets a little bit more entertainment to it. They're playing golf, good day for it. But yeah, so just disclaimer here, you know, I know there's a lot of people out there that just are like anti-cruise control on sport bikes. I mean, there's some people that are like, hey, these are meant for a track, you know, using cruise control is dangerous, I would never do it, you know, you can kind of save that. I'm just here to help kind of answer questions about, you know, the cruise control on these Zx10 for the Gen 6. So Gen 6 would basically be, it's a 2021 up, or considered your Generation 6 models of these bikes. So just here to kind of answer some questions and explain a little bit about the cruise control. Specifically, I want to go over, you know, how can you set it, how can you kill it, you know, top speed, low speed, things like that. So hopefully if you guys are interested, feel free to stick around for this video, and we'll go over you know, a little bit about the cruise control on this bike. So it does come standard. This is a 2022 ZX10, so obviously it comes standard with it. I've heard and seen some people saying that their cruise control has an issue after they get their ECU flashed. I have not had that problem, so I don't know if that had something to do with the tuner possibly, but yeah. So mine works and it's been flashed, so you know, obviously I don't want you guys worried that, like, oh, if I get my bike flashed, my cruise control is not going to work. Well, that's not true at all. So but yeah, so first things first, lowest setting, I believe you need to be in at least third gear, and traveling, I think it's at least 30 miles per hour. Now I need to break out the book. I'll put it up on the description if it's wrong or exactly what it is, but I know you at least need to be in third gear. So if you're trying to do it below that, obviously it's just not going to engage. So basically, I'll go ahead and turn it on here. Once you hit the button, you'll see your cruise control icon will pop up, and then you hit the down button to set it, and then you'll see that changes to set. And now we are riding without having to use the throttle. So we're in third gear, going about 51 miles an hour. It's always fun kind of putting the cruise control on, because you always get some interesting looks. People are like, wow, how's he doing that? So especially some of the Harley guys, they kind of look at you funny. I think it's kind of fun to do that. But yeah, so you can see we've got it set here. So here's a few ways you can kill it. Number one, the throttle does roll forward, so I'll show that. So if I roll the throttle forward like that, you'll see it immediately kills it. And now I'm manually throttling the bike again. Now what's kind of cool is, although I killed it, it will show you the last speed that it was set at. And we'll wait here at the stop sign. So basically what that's saying is it was last set at 52 miles per hour. Obviously that went away since we came to a stop. We'll wait for this guy. But what will happen is it'll show and say, hey, you know, your last speed was X. And so there's this thing right here that says reset. So basically, if I ever need to turn it off and I want to turn it back on at the exact speed we were just at, it keeps it, obviously, until you come to like a dead stop like that, then it resets it. But we'll get back up here, like 3rd or 4th gear. And I never disabled it, so it's still enabled. So then I just hit my set button, and it sets it again. So the throttle on these have a feature on it where some people absolutely hate it. I really don't think it's that big of a deal. But you can roll the throttle forward, you know, a few centimeters, and that is by design, and that's one of the ways you can kill the cruise control. That's actually the sole function of the throttle, being able to roll forward like that. That's all that that's there for. And then there's about 2 other ways you can kill the cruise control if you needed to. Number 1 is touching either of the brakes. So if I even pull in the front brake or I touch the rear brake, it immediately will kill it. And then the other way is if I touch the clutch. If I pull in the clutch, it will also kill the cruise control. So you'll see if I do my rear brake here, I'll push it, and it killed it, and you see it set it back to 50 miles per hour. And now I'm manually throttling again. Love the smell of a bonfire. And so let's just say I want to reset it back to 50 where I was. You see it's still set at 50. I'll hit my reset button again at the top, and it'll go back down to 50 miles an hour using the reset button. So your bottom one is set, that's going to set your speed. Your top one is your reset, that's what you use to reset it or go back to the speed you were at. Now, you may have noticed there what happened was I was currently going 54 miles per hour and it was set at 50. So what it'll do is if you were going above it and you set it back to a lower speed, the bike will automatically slow itself down to get to the speed, and then once it hits it, it'll, you know, basically keep itself going from that point forward. So it's pretty convenient. Honestly, I love having the cruise control for if you're on a longer ride and you simply just feel like you need a break. It's a great opportunity to do that. So, you know, I'm cruising right here, turn it on, I'll set it. And, you know, for us sport bike riders, I mean, you guys know that, I mean, you're kind of in a very leaned over position, a very aggressive position here. So being able to sit up like this and just take a break for a little bit is pretty convenient. So we're coming up to a stop, so I'll use my clutch this time, pull it in. You see it killed it, kept it at what it was, and we'll come up to the stop here. So yeah, I think it's a great feature. And so, you know, to all those out there that say like, oh, you know, the cruise control doesn't belong on a sport bike, you know, you don't have to use it the way that you're probably thinking people use these things. I actually only, oh, watch out, oh, that's a lot of gravel there. I only use it simply if I need a rest. So, you know, obviously I would not advise going out here on some twisty back roads and setting it and then just, you know, trying to use cruise control and not using the throttle. Obviously that's a bad idea. And then one of the other things I want to talk about here is the max speed you can set it to. So surprisingly, you can set it up to 87 miles per hour. Now, do I recommend that? Not necessarily. You know, the only time you'd really ever use that if you're like really on a wide open highway and you just had a lot of ground to travel, I guess, and you just really weren't wanting to you know, really just wanting to sit up and kind of relax. Now, granted, 87 miles per hour, even on a non-windy day, I mean, that's kind of risky. I'm not saying I haven't done it, but you know, I can attest that, you know, it's smooth. So you can do it, and you know, as long as you're not being stupid about it, it's not exactly going to be super dangerous. But you know, just be prepared that if you ever need to stop, just remember, you know, you've got 3 kind of main ways to turn it back off, and just make sure you're always paying attention to that. So to turn it back off just completely, you see I've actually still got it set on here. It's really not a big deal. It just means that if I wanted to just turn it back on really quickly, I could. Just to turn it back off, you just hit your middle button there, and you'll see it'll go away on the dash. So pretty simple to use feature. But yeah, so just wanted to kind of make a quick short video here, just kind of talking about that. Again, I think the bottom of it, you have to be third gear going at, I want to say it's 30, it might be 45 miles per hour. Look in your owner's manual, it will give you the exact specifications for when you can enable it. And then again, the maximum you can set it at is, I believe it's 87, I don't think it's 85, I'm pretty sure it's 87 miles per hour. So, pretty cool. It's definitely nerve-wracking to use for the first time. It can be a little unnerving, to basically just be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to sit up. And I would give you a warning, if you're setting it, be hunched over and be prepared, because the bike might pick up, obviously, from the time you let off the throttle, for the computer to kind of kick in and start taking over. There's going to be a split second where, you might have a bit of like a lag, I'd say, or a delay, and it's not going to throw you off the bike by any means, but it could definitely kind of scare you the first few times you're doing this, because it's like, hey, my hands are not on the handlebars, and it gives you this jerky feeling. So yeah, so I would just say I'd recommend that there. And also, I'll show you guys here. I'll get up to third gear, set it, and if I'm going above it, you see what happened was I had set it at 45, but I was actually already at like 47, 48 miles per hour. So I kind of will lean over a little bit and lean into it, just as in anticipation of the bike kind of getting ready to pick it back up, and you will kind of lean back a little bit. So like I said, it's not going to throw you off the bike by any means, but for the first time you use it, it can be very nerve-wracking. So, but you can see it's a pretty neat feature, and you can just kind of cruise around. It can turn some heads. I think the only other bike, now correct me wrong in the comments, but the only other bike I know for sure that has this stock and standard is the S1000Rs. I know that Suzuki doesn't have it, Yamaha doesn't have it. I'm pretty sure Ducati also does not have it. So I think it's really just the Beamers that come stock with this. So if you're wanting a bike with cruise control, you're kind of between this or the S1000RR. So, take your pick. Like I said, I've got other videos I've got out and other videos I'm putting out just talking about this bike in general. So if you're wanting to, decide between the two, you feel free to check out some more of my videos, and you can get a feel for this bike. But yeah, so like I said, just a quick video today. If you guys have any other questions about the cruise control system or anything else, feel free to put a comment below, and always happy to answer some questions with the knowledge I have. And I'm by no means an expert or a mechanic or anything, but I can just speak to my personal experience with what I've done and worked on this bike and who I've worked with on this bike. So alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you on the next one.